While there are countless ways you can manage a project, most common project management methodologies fall into one of two model types: either a defined and linear process model or more of an empirical and iterative process model. In a defined and linear process model, there's a very linear approach planned for the project work, and work gets carried out following that plan through distinct and complete project phases. You complete one phase of a project, then move on to the next phase. Each phase needs to be completed before moving to the next. In an empirical and iterative model, on the other hand, you use actual and empirical data gathered as project work is performed, working in iterations, building on what's been done, and introducing or changing elements as you go, sometimes performing work in cycles to create the end result. Agile project management is considered an incremental model for project management. So instead of project work being completed in a linear model with one final delivery phase, your project work is divided up into increments, and each increment of project work goes through requirements, design, development, and then testing and delivery before moving on to the next piece of project work. So you're taking it one piece at a time and delivering each piece. Agile project management is additionally considered an iterative model. So not only are you building the pieces of your final product incrementally over time, you're also iterating, meaning in the first increment, you might initially build the minimum features that are required for your product, such as login functionality. Then, once you've tested that functionality, in the next increment of work, you may build more robustness into that feature. So you're incrementally adding different features to your end product and adding robustness to your features with each iteration. With Agile being iterative and incremental, the focus is on delivering the highest value items first. So if you're starting with highest value items first, then you know that you've at least tackled the things that are the most important to your stakeholders. Another characteristic of Agile project management is that you identify issues much earlier. Because testing is ongoing with each iteration, rather than just in one testing phase at the end of the project lifecycle, issues are realized much earlier in the development process. Feedback is also obtained early and often because at the end of each iteration, you're getting feedback from the project stakeholders and then incorporating that feedback into the next iteration. Once that feedback has been received, and since you haven't moved too far ahead in the project work, it's a lot easier to make changes as well. In summary, the Agile project management approach is incremental and iterative. Other characteristics of Agile are that it helps focus on the highest value requirements first, issues get identified earlier in the project lifecycle, stakeholder feedback is received earlier and often, and changes are easier to implement.